I was on vacation last week, and you might think it odd, but one of the things my brother and I did went to the library of former President Richard Nixon, and I kind of have a strange fascination with kind of old political figures. And so I've been watching some interviews with him recently, or listening to them as I've been driving. And he's an interesting man and has interesting stories to tell. But as he tells them, they're outdated. As he speaks, his references I really don't understand sometimes. And even some of the predictions he makes about the future don't really come to pass. Well, that's normal. He's a dated political figure, a dated historical figure. We can sometimes have the same tendency to think that the Gospels are in the same vein. This is Jesus speaking at a specific time, and it is closed to that time. Well, that is false. The gospel that our Savior speaks to us today, through the mouth of the deacon, but through the words of Jesus Christ, and truthfully through the mouth of Jesus Christ at this Mass, are the words spoken to you and me today. Yes, they were spoken in history, but they are spoken today. And this gospel is a great example of it. Yes, Jesus spoke these words. This was an event that happened in time. When Matthew wrote them, he was also writing these words much later than when Jesus spoke them, but he was writing them down to his people who were experiencing a situation like this. There was a dispute over paying the temple tax years after Jesus had lived and walked the earth. And so the people that day, when Matthew was telling this story, got something from what Jesus said years before. And this morning, you and I might think, well, what does this have to do with us? We don't pay a temple tax. But Jesus is speaking these words to us today, and they live today. And so, how does this gospel relate to us? Well, for me, I think, this says, we don't owe the temple tax. Well, we're going to pay it anyway so that we don't give offense, we don't cause any problems, we just keep going. And sometimes I think maybe that's a lesson for us. How many times do we say, that's not fair? Well, sometimes we have to do things that we don't want to do or aren't supposed to do, and we do them anyway so that we don't have to worry about any hubbub that might come from it. Sometimes we have to take one for the team, as we say, and they aren't fair. You're right. But sometimes we have to do it. Anyway, each gospel speaks to us in a different way. Let's not let the gospel be a history lesson. It certainly is an event in history, it is true, but it is also the words that Jesus Christ speaks to us in time, to you and me today. And so let us never hear this just as a story of the past, but as Jesus Christ being brought to us today for whatever we're dealing with today. Praise be Jesus Christ, King of the universe.